Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about why you should never try to avoid hard work. So guys, hard work is going to be something that you're always going to have to do, right? Whether it's physical labor or whether it's mental labor, right? So let's take for example the immigrant who comes to the US and is working 12-hour days in construction, right? Now let's contrast that with the yogi or the sage who's doing 4 hours, 5 hours of meditation, 4 hours of yoga, 2 hours of contemplation every day, right? One is doing physical labor, right? And it seems like the yogi or the sage, the mystic, is having a good time, right? He's meditating, it's easy. He's having a great time, right? He's living a life of leisure. And to an extent that is true, right? But when the yogi is meditating or when the yogi is doing yoga or doing contemplation or doing self-inquiry or doing breath work, that is laborious, right? Think of the yogi, right? Think of that yogi in that meditation, right? Let's say he's doing like a 3-hour meditation, or maybe he splits it up throughout the day. He is focused his consciousness, his energy, his nervous system on limiting the amount of thinking, right? He's trying to calm down his mind. He's trying to purify his mind. He's trying to slow down his mind so that he can achieve higher levels of consciousness, samadhi, enlightenment, satori, right? These non-dual states where he merges with God, right? So in a way, right, even if you become an entrepreneur, even if you somehow escape the rat race, like all of these influencers, want you to do, right? Which is fine. Don't get the illusion that the work is over. And here's the thing too, right? A lot of people say, I want to go to Colombia or Philippines or Thailand and be a digital nomad because the rent's cheap. It's only, $500 a month, whatever, right? Okay, understandable, right? You want to be a monk, you want to, live on your own, you want to just, escape society. Well, the hard work is still going to be there, right? Because not only are you going to be doing a lot of meditation, contemplation, consciousness work, but guess what? If you're in one of those countries and you don't have a lot of money, you're going to have to walk all over to get your food, right? Maybe you have to walk some distance to wash your clothes, right? Maybe you have to walk to get something from a supermarket. Maybe it's not food, but it's something you need for your place. So you might not necessarily be working a 9 to 5, right, in that foreign country, but guess what? You don't have a car. So now instead of doing 20 minutes of walking a day in the first world country, now you're doing 5 hours of walking, right? So it's just so funny, like the fact that it's natural for us to take the easy route because we're humans. We need to conserve from a biological standpoint, survival standpoint. We want to conserve our energy because we never know when we're going to need it the most energy, right? And we have to use it sparingly because it's limited, right? In our hunter-gatherer days, not so much anymore at all, actually. But when food was scarce, right, when we had a limited supply of resources, we had to be very sparing. We had to monitor our activity and our energy, and we had to conserve energy for times when we might need it, right? Because if we're out, just doing a whole bunch of stuff, right, and we're taking the hardest route and we're doing things that are difficult, well, we're getting tired as the day progresses, and who knows when we might need food, or who knows when something might come attack, or who knows when we might have to move because of the weather, right? Maybe the weather destroyed our hut that we made earlier, and now we have to go somewhere else. So you never know, like back in those hunter-gatherer days, the millions of years of evolution, we had to conserve our energy. So it's natural to be not necessarily lazy, but it's natural to conserve your energy for times where you're going to need it, right? So, but here's the thing. You're never going to be able to escape hard work, right? Whether it's, like I said, mental or physical. And here's the thing. You don't want to. A lot of people think, oh, I don't want to work. I don't want to work hard. Like, especially nowadays, no one wants to work, right? Even if it's minimum wage, no one wants to work. Why is that? You guys have to understand, I think we've been brainwashed. And like I said, I know social media plays a big part in that brainwashing, but we've been like lied to about work. Like, there's always going to be work. There's always going to be work. And escaping it, trying to avoid it, is the easiest way to misery, right? Because look, let's say, okay, you take that scenario where I mentioned earlier, where you're living on $500 a month in a foreign country. Okay, that's work, right? Now let's say you decide you're going to be homeless, right? You're going to sell your house. You're not going to pay rent. You're going to be homeless. Well, hey, guess what? Here's more work again, right? I live here in Florida, right? And I live in Naples, so it's rich. It's a rich city for the most part, but I still see some homeless people. And man, they don't have an easy life. Think about it real quick. Think of the homeless person's day-to-day life. If you're walking from corner to corner, right, begging for money, or you have to go walk to your homeless shelter to clean your clothes, right? And then you have to take your clothes when you go out, right? And if you're begging for money hours of the day, is that not hard work? Come on, guys, come on. Imagine if those people, now I'm not saying all of them can, some of them have, criminal backgrounds which prevents them from getting a job, but imagine if some of those people who didn't have those criminal backgrounds just got a job, right? Even if it's minimum wage, at least they'll have some money, right? So it's like you're not ever going to, unless you're dead, you will never be able to escape two things: physical labor and mental labor. There's no escaping it. As long as you're in this human flesh, you will have to labor mentally and physically. There's no getting around it. And you shouldn't want to. You should enjoy work. And it's funny too, like, back in, or you could say like, oh, someone would say, oh, well, I like playing video games and sorry, I had a phone call. I like playing video games and I like to, have fun, and works hard and this and that. You know what happens when you sit there and play video games and you don't do anything all day, and maybe you work 40 hours? There's a gnawing sense of like discontent throughout the day, throughout your days and your weeks, right? And Goethe, I think it was Goethe, said, no man can bear a succession of fair days, meaning like no man can deal with like easy days for a long time without losing his mind. Like, if life's too easy, you lose your mind. You don't want life to always be easy. You want challenges, because that's when you grow, and that's when you get that internal sense of meaning and accomplishment. Sorry, people keep calling me. Anyways, that's really the main point here. So never try to escape work. Always, I'm not saying you always have to choose like the difficult route. Like, if you are able to cut a corner in a practical way that's not going to completely like destroy you, yeah, make the shortcut, but don't look for the shortcut in everything. Like, most people are just trying to look for shortcuts in every facet of life, and it's like, they're trying to look for the easiest way to make money, or they're trying to look for the easiest diet, and it's like no thing worth having in the long run is gonna, like, you can't buy it. There's nothing there. The only thing that you can do to accomplish the thing is to work hard over a long period of time. And that's a real big red pill for a lot of people. Most people can't handle that, and most people won't accept that. If you tell somebody, hey man, I want a multi-million-dollar business, and you tell them, yeah, are you ready to work for 10 years straight, 60 hours a week? They're gonna say no. Or they might say yes, and they might just quit 6 months in. Because like, people really don't grasp what it takes to like actually be successful and have a good life. And most people just aren't willing to work. And maybe they're, like I said, maybe they're willing to work 40 hours, or maybe they're willing to even work more, but are they willing to work at that rate for decades? And if they're not able to do it for decades, then they just don't want it that bad enough. So like I said, you can't escape work, and don't try to escape it, right? Like, I get a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment whenever I'm consistent with the gym, or whenever I'm doing overtime at my job, or whenever I'm consistent with my YouTube channel. I get an internal sense of meaning and satisfaction that like I can't really explain to somebody who's just working 30 hours a week or 40 hours a week. So yeah, that's it. That's all, guys. Never try to escape hard work. You will always have to work hard no matter what stage of life you get to. So yeah, that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.